What's up, everybody? In this video series, I'm going to run through a number of issues that I currently see with modern North American agriculture and the agri-food system generally, and what we can do about those problems. I'm going to identify between 5 and 10 really key issues, ranging from things like climate change and habitat loss to the ethics of animal welfare, the exclusivity of land ownership, water management, and many others. I'm also going to be discussing solutions to these issues wherever I can find them, and I'm going to stick as closely to the science on these problems as possible. When I reference a scientific paper or a news article, I'll be sure to link it in the description, and criticism of me and my ideas is always welcome in the comments. I'm certainly not an authority on these topics. I'm just expressing my personal views on how we can move past what look to me to be extremely obvious and serious problems. I also hope this isn't taken as an attack on farmers. My family actually runs a farm in southern Saskatchewan, and all the farmers I know and talk to and collaborate with are really good, hardworking people. But they're operating a business inside of a system which has some pretty problematic incentives. So correcting those incentives is what I'm advocating. I'm not advocating for some sort of utopian future here without markets or herbicides or anything like that. I just think it's time that we have a grown-up conversation about a better food system and how we get there and what it might look like. Consumers obviously have a big role to play here too, as do policymakers and other stakeholders, so please share these videos if you think they're useful. Before I let you go on this intro video, I'd like you to just pause and think a little bit about your place in the food system and what you might like to see changed. So if, say, you get a loaf of bread from the grocery store, does it matter to you if, in order to make that bread and grow that wheat, we had to pollute some waterways, say a river or a lake with some kind of nutrient pollution or toxin or something, and it contributes to these algae blooms that you can see all across the prairies? Is that an issue? And if it is, what can we do about it? Or imagine if, in order to grow that wheat, we had to disturb or convert or just completely transform a natural ecosystem, even an endangered one. And this graph here actually shows the decline in grassland birds in the prairie ecozone over the last 50 years or so. And that is due to our disturbance of the tallgrass prairie and the prairie ecozones by converting them to our cropping system. So we clearly have an effect on the environment. And the question is, how much do we care? And if we care a lot, what can we do about it? And beyond the environment, there's some economic and market drivers that might be a concern for people. This comes from Stats Canada, and it just shows the number of farms contrasted to the size of the farms. And this yellow line shows the decrease in the total number of farms, and these blue bar charts show how over time farm sizes are getting bigger. So we're getting bigger farms and farmer operations, but fewer of them. Is that a problem? And is it something we care about? These are just an example of the kind of things we're going to get into, and I'm excited to have you here with me. So, if you like beer, pour yourself a beer and we'll get started. Thanks.